Okay everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with a daily race C, starting from the back of the grid on the American servers. And yeah, this is a really fun watch, so make sure you watch this all the way to the end. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscription button, hit the notification button as well so you don't miss any future videos, and give it a thumbs up if you do enjoy this. And also let me know in the comment section how you enjoyed this race and how this race has been going for you this week. So let's get this race underway, starting from P14. Behind us there you can see we've got Last of 50k, who is Adventure Racing. If you haven't already subscribed to his channel, make sure you subscribe to his channel. It's in the description below in a link there, so give him a follow on there. It's worth following him. He's a good little creator there. He also live streams a lot, so yeah, he was live streaming this race at this point from the perspective of his view. Obviously we're starting on the hard tires. I think he actually started on the medium tires, so yeah, we're going with the Beetle for this race. It is a very good car. I actually found that the Beetle is probably slightly better than the FT1 because of the tyre wear. I don't know about its overall pace over a lap being better, but yeah, it's just so consistent with the tyre wear and it's really easy to drive. So give this car a try if you haven't done so already. As we see the car in front has a mistake and another car goes wide. We nearly got two positions there, and yeah, P12 goes on a very strange line for that corner, obviously because he's come from a tight angle. So we had to kind of get on the anchors there. And yeah, James behind us there also had to get quite early on the brakes to avoid hitting us. But at this point, we need to try and get past this driver in front in the Jaguar. He's losing a lot of time at the moment. So yeah, trying to wait for an opportunity to get past him as we go through that long left-hand corner. We get a nice run up the left-hand side, and yeah, we're going to be able to get past him here. And I don't think he battles it too much. I think he just kind of lifts quite early, lets us take the inside line. So yeah, racing quite fair. James had a little look behind us there, was going to go for that opportunity to go for that pass, but had to back out of it as the Jaguar kind of closed the door on him. So yeah, up into P12 now, and we're going to fast forward the action until we get a little bit closer to that Porsche that is in front of us, who is getting very close. You can see we're almost into the slipstream now and getting ever so close now as we work our way up to the middle part of the lap. And we're going to go through this very tricky left-hand corner. Always a tricky corner to get perfect. And yeah, he's run a little bit wide there. He's going to get a lot of dirt on the tyres. And that is another position we've got up. He actually nearly hit us as he tried to save the car coming back on the track. You might have seen that in the mirror, but got away with that one as we again fast forward the action until we come up to the next group of cars. We're in P10, so going quite reasonably okay the race so far. We're up to P10 now. We've got a car up ahead, the Mustang, you can see there, that has picked up a 2-second penalty. I think it is maybe a 3-second penalty. That's going to slow him down quite considerably. We're going to go down the inside here. You can see he's still ghosted there, and then he unghosts just on the apex. So he kind of turned in a little bit early. We give him the space on the outside, but I think that was a fair pass. And we make our way up to P9. So yeah, a nice position gain there as we go through this tricky left-hander again. And two cars trying to go side by side through there. That normally ends in disaster. They made it, but they both lost a lot of pace. So we're up to P8 already on lap 3. And working our way, obviously on the hard tyres here. The race going really well at this point. We're up to P8 on the hard tyres. We've still got to use the medium tyres, which with this car you can normally run at least 9 laps. I have run longer. 9 or 8 laps is optimal. I'd say 9 laps is probably optimal with the undercut, if you get a good undercut there. As we go into this final corner, battling going on, we had to cut back, tried to go on a wider line. We almost got sandwiched into that corner. You could see on the replay camera, got kind of squished in between 2 cars. But now we work our way onto the start of lap 4, going down into turn 1, this tight hairpin. We're going to go down the left-hand side. I kind of was thinking of going for a move there, but he kind of closed the door, which was fair enough. And the Mustang on the right-hand side now is going to try and see if he can muscle his way past. He actually hits the Porsche at this point. He gives him a tap up the rear, gets himself in the position, which is a move I never really like. He's kind of like pushed the pass. And then we're going to almost go 3 wide through the corner, but then contact there, and then the Mustang just, yeah, he just clean drove straight into us. Didn't really care. He kept his foot planted on the throttle, and we spin out. I mean, kind of possibly caused by I maybe should have backed out into that corner, but with the situation that was going on, I don't know. But this may have been the cause of his actions. I don't know. As we go through this corner, you can see we're all the way on the left-hand side, and he just unghosted at that point. But I feel like I left enough space here. You can see we're on the inside. He's still turning in. I think we'd give plenty of space on the right-hand side of the track. And I think I had the right to go for that there after he had the penalty. And we also gave space on the exit of the corner. I don't think it was overly aggressive there. But we'll watch now. This is the point where he nudges the Porsche, carries on. trying to get past there. And then we get a better exit there. We're going to try and squeeze through that gap there as the Porsche's lost a bit of pace after being nudged. But at this point, look at his steering inputs. He's turning left into a right-hand corner. And we fast forward a bit. And he's still turning left slightly, going into a right-hand corner. Which is kind of strange because you can see myself and the Porsche are starting to turn in. But yeah, so he gives us a bit of contact here, which then slides our car into the Porsche slightly. And we both have a bit of contact. Me and the Porsche are at this point probably not in the best position for this corner. We're both sliding. But yeah, I managed to save it. However, at this point you can see maybe he was trying to defend against that Subaru, but he keeps his foot completely planted in the corner. You can see as we just about get the car back on the track, he keeps his car completely nailed on that throttle. He doesn't back out. He hits our rear of our car. And yeah, that is just going to send us into them 360-degree spins. We're off the track now, and he's not lifting off. He's completely on the throttle still. Just, I don't think he really cares. But, you know, karma sometimes sets in. And yeah, unfortunately for us, we're down into P14 now. So quite a long way behind. You can see Adventure Racing's got off into the distance, quite a long way ahead. We actually lost 10 seconds in that one incident. We were 11, I think just under 12 seconds behind the leader, and now we're just under 22 seconds. So yeah, 10 seconds lost because of that. Quite frustrating, but yeah, the good part is we are on the hard tyre in this race, so we do have the option of pitting early, which I think I was thinking of going on lap 5 and then maybe giving myself better tyres at the end, but then going through this corner before we come into the pit lane, we can see the Jaguar going all out of sync, and I thought, you know what, instead of battling him, I don't think he would have defended too much, but instead of working our way back through the traffic, we will go in the pits on lap 4 and we'll do 9 laps on the mediums, which is perfectly acceptable with the Beetle. The Beetle will not really struggle with that. It's pretty good on tyres, and yeah, the tyres do get faded towards the last 2 laps and you will lose lap time, but it can survive it. It's not like the car becomes undrivable. You can still attack in a kind of way. You just lose a bit of traction on some of the slower corners. But yeah, on our outlap, we've got a car in front of us that has had an issue there. The Brazilian driver, I think that's the RCZ, must have spun it on the first sector, so he's having a bit of a nightmare. As we come through here, you can see we get a nice clean pass. He tries to squeeze a little bit, but yeah, we're just going to hold that line. We're not going to sit behind him with them worn tyres. We've got fresh mediums on, and we get a nice simple pass done on that Peugeot. So now we've got to try and get ourselves some good lap times in while we've got no one in front of us. We got as we look in the mirror there, and I think he actually avoided us. I think he missed his braking and deliberately turned to the right, so fair play to that guy. He just didn't really want to take me out. But now we're going to fast forward the action. Need to get some good strong laps in here, and this is really lucky. As we're coming through to start our first proper lap on these tyres, the Beetle coming out the pits, we just about managed to get enough exit speed there to get that position and don't lose. We do lose a little bit of time on that corner, maybe 2 tenths or something, but it's not as much as what we would have lost if we ended up behind him. So yeah, we're up into now P13. We're obviously on the medium tyres, and we're going to start gaining and getting an undercut on the other drivers in this race now. So yeah, trying to get some good solid laps in now. So we're going to skip a little bit further ahead in the race, and we're up to P5 and on lap 8 as we've gained a few positions from pitting. We're actually up to P7 as them 2 drivers there have just come out of the pits. So yeah, once the pit stop phases start to kick in, you see that we've got last to 50k now right in front of us. Now he started on the medium tyres, I think, and now was on the harder tyres. However, his tyres are fresh. Mine have got 4 or 5 laps of usage on them, so it's gonna start. We need to get this move done as soon as possible. So I knew I had to go quite aggressive here and try and put him under some pressure, because the longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for me to overtake. So you can see the extra grip we've got at the moment. We're carrying a lot more speed through the corners, and we're into that slipstream now. He was driving the Alpha that actually looked quite reasonable around this track. It looked very good on the final corner. It seemed to have really good traction on that final corner. It was very difficult to stay with him, as you're going to find out as we come through here. We're right behind James now, and we're going to put him under pressure. So we're going to try and squeeze him into a mistake, try and really put the pressure on as he goes a little bit wide there. That gives us the opportunity to try and go around the outside here. Subaru goes deep into the corner. We're right in the middle of 2 drivers, and somehow no contact, perfectly clean through there. And we then go to the left hand side. We're going to pick up the slipstream from James to try and get that move done on the Subaru. We have a little look on the outside here. I was thinking of doing a cut back on the inside, but James defends really well there, keeps the car on the inside. He probably knows about us doing that kind of move. He knows that I go for the fake, so defends it really well. And at this point, driving quite well there, James in front. He's keeping the car in the correct places at the correct points. As long as you hold the apex and get on the power nice and early, you can defend at a track like Laguna, because Laguna is one of the hardest tracks, I would say, to get overtakes done on. There's only really 2 overtaking zones, into the final corner and into turn 1, and even them corners are very difficult to get a move done. So yeah, you can see we're going to try and put a lot of pressure on him. So I was bringing the car over to the left, having a little look, just trying to keep him aware that we're in the mirrors and just keep the pressure on, make him sweat it out a bit, and see if we can force him into maybe a mistake somewhere that we can take advantage of, or maybe a really brave move around the outside, or some sort of move at any point. But like I say, the longer this battle will go on, the harder it's going to get. You can see the tyre wear getting worse and worse. However, the tyres are still pretty solid. You can see we were doing 21.5s, but now we're behind. On the previous lap we got a 22.5, and now we're starting to lose quite a bit of time. I think we're losing about a second and a half lap as we try and go around the outside through here, see if we can get a better exit. And again, the Alpha just so strong on the exit of that final corner, it was very hard to get close to him. So down the straight, the Alpha actually had a bit more top speed, but in the slipstream, the Beetle gets in close to a position. We're going to try and go very wide into this corner and try and almost cut back on him through here as we get on the power really early. You can see it almost drifting through the corner up on the curb. An absolutely brilliant camera angle there as we work our way into this sector again, trying to keep as close as we can. And just look how close that is. This is great racing. I have to say, I really did enjoy this battle we had with Adventure Racing as we work our way now into this left-hand corner. Can we have a little look here? We're too far back now. You can see that aggressive first sector, we're a little bit too far back, and the only thing I'll say, this aggressive driving is not doing my tyres any good. You can see I'm weaving around, I'm trying to put him under pressure, I'm trying to let him see me in the mirrors. The more he sees us, you never know, he could get panicked by it, and we're just trying to see if we can find a way. We're going to go to the right and then cut back to the left-hand side here, have a little look on the inside, and again, he's not falling for it. He's driving pretty well here. He's doing everything that I would do, keeping it calm, trying to keep the car in the correct place on the apexes so that we can't just send it up the inside. Driving very defensively and very well at doing this as well. He's up to P4, obviously. He's having a good race. We're having a pretty good recovery considering we lost quite a big chunk of time. However, we're losing a lot of time at this stage. Like I said, we should be still in the 21s, but we're now into the 23s. But this is the type of track that you can defend, and you will hold that position if you drive it very clever. And at the moment, James is doing that. You can see he's holding the correct inside line there. He's stopping us going for that dive. So we're having to go around the long way and try and get better exits. But the annoying thing is, his hard tyres on traction seem to be a bit stronger than the Beetles at the moment, as you see on this helicopter camera that I wish was more of an option on GT. I wish this was a standard camera that we could just use for all replays. It looks so good, and I do enjoy watching the replays from that angle. As again, we have a little look. We've managed to get the car up the inside now on Adventure Racing. We're going to go side by side through this left-hand corner. Tiniest bit of contact through there, but we give him the space on the exit as we now power our way up the hill. But unfortunately, again, the Alpha just had too much space, and I decided we're not going to go through that corner side by side. Instead, we'll back out and we'll regroup and try and go again on one of the remaining laps. We've only got a couple of laps to go for this now, 2 and a bit laps. We're going to try and, again, work into the right, to the left, back to the right all the time, just trying to find an angle to get a move done in some of these corners, and it was just getting harder and harder as the race went on. You can see we're coming to the end of lap 11 now, and these tyres are feeling pretty old. They've done 7 laps now. We're about to start the 8th lap on these tyres, and you can see that tyre wear on the rear right, especially through this corner. As we put the power down, with that little bit of dirty air, you can see we just don't get the traction from that final corner, and he just gains that vital 10th before we get that slipstream. And again, that just gives him the ability into turn 1 to feel pretty safe. You can see at this point he doesn't even need to go defensive, and yeah, I'm not just going to send it down the inside there, but again, into this zone here, we're going to try and get on the power nice and early at a tighter angle to give us a better exit speed. And again, we're going to look on the right hand side, and we just cannot go for that move. This is an amazing battle. I was really enjoying this battle at this point. He makes a little mistake there. That's going to give him the opportunity to maybe go for a good clean run through here, but unfortunately he absolutely nailed that corner. And again, we're not going to be able to go for a move. We're just trying to see an opportunity. We're trying to put him under pressure, but he is not. He's not budging. He's driving exceptionally well here. And yeah, we definitely have more pace, I think, at the point when we caught him up. But now the tyres are starting to become pretty even, I think, in terms of... Well, I'd say actually our tyres were actually slower in terms of comparison for lap times, but we're managing to stay in that slipstream, and we just got to try and find the move. We definitely can do it if we find an opportunity, but it's going to have to be a brave move, as again, going into this final sector now, this was one of the last opportunities we've got to have a move and go for a move. As we go into the last corner, he runs very well through there, but however, we have a little look up the inside there. I don't know if he thought we were going to dive it. He breaks a little bit late, and that gives me a nice run out of the final corner, and we've almost got alongside. You can see on the replay camera, we at that point there, we're kind of alongside, but then at this point, I think he could have closed the door there, and he chooses not to, maybe thinking that he might have cut across a bit too much. And we managed to hold the inside line. We're going to go side by side through here. We managed to get on the power really well, almost drifting through the corner, and managed to take the position back and up into P4, and kind of a recovery drive again in this race as we defend this line now. He's obviously got good tyres compared to my worn tyres, so we're going to have to go very defensive. He's going to fight this one back. He's not going to just sit there and take it. So we're going to go to the right side here. I felt like I was far enough ahead, and we were just about enough ahead as he tried to lunge it, but just a bit too far back. And now we've built up a little bit of a gap here now, 4/10, which is nice. A little bit of security blanket there as we go through this tricky left-hand corner, trying to make sure we use all the track over to the left-hand side, stop him trying to get that slipstream, and then into the corkscrew for one final time. This is where we need to make sure we do not bin it, make sure we hold on to this P4 in this race. And what a race this has been, a great little battle with Adventure Racing. And again, the car almost drifting through these corners where the grip is almost gone. The rear right tyre, you can see, I think I'd obviously overdrove the car trying to get a move done on James. I think that if we had drove it more sensibly, we could have had better tyres left at this stage, but I was really trying everything I could to go for a move, and finally it worked. And as we go down the straight, we just weave in and out there, just say thank you to James. He's doing the same thing. I think we both enjoyed that race as much as each other, and I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, comment in the comment section, let me know how you feel about the race, how your races have gone, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks again for watching, everyone.